Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Laura Harris. The year is 2023, but it seems like just yesterday we were grabbing our masks and quarantining as the COVID-19 pandemic first took the world by storm back in 2019, throwing the global supply chain into a tailspin. But now we're looking ahead at how suppliers are faring in this unknown market. And as we move past the last few years, our automotive news reporter John Irwin says things are looking up.
For most suppliers, it's a situation where their revenues might be at or near where they were back before the pandemic, back in 2019. You see a lot of revenues even surpassing where it was back then.
For the past several weeks, major parts suppliers have filed the year-end earnings reports. And for many companies, revenue is surpassing 2019 levels. Irwin says this is great news for a struggling supply sector that has been affected by production shutdowns, high material costs, a tight labor market, geopolitical uncertainty, and other problems. But revenue isn't increasing for everyone.
A lot of these companies aren't making quite as much as they did before. We're still feeling the squeeze, even if revenues have climbed back up to where they were a few years ago.
Earnings continue to be weighed down by many issues: higher labor, logistics and energy costs, and persistent factory interruptions of the global microchip shortage, and the massive costs of investing in electrification.
I think that's where a lot of companies are, staying focused on right now. It's, hey, let's just stay afloat right now, make the investments that we need so that down the line we can succeed when electrification really takes off over the course of the decade.
Much of the divide between the suppliers doing better than others stems from how successful companies have been in getting adjusted contracts and price increases from automaker customers. Irwin spoke with S&P Global Mobility executive Michael Robinette. He says even if a supplier has the same revenue as pre-COVID, their cost structure has changed significantly.
Suppliers are really looking at ways to, move their cost structures around just to, try to maximize their profits as best as they can. But we're probably looking at a little while before we get back to pre-pandemic levels for a lot of companies.
It's a financial situation that applies to a spectrum of suppliers worldwide, but experiences vary by company. Experts say many of these challenges will likely continue through this year, and labor costs will remain a particular supplier challenge. Irwin says returning to higher revenue levels will be a long-term issue.
So I think suppliers are just sort of, hunkering down. We've been doing this for a few years now. Let's just stick, make sure that we have our eyes set in the long term, not get too bogged down.
Thank you so much, John, for taking the time to speak with us. To read more on his story, go to autonews.com. That's all we have for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at AutoNewsTV and online at autonews.com for updates from our reporters all day, every day. I'm Laura Harris. Have a great night, and I'll see you all next time.